Okay, everyone, thank you for tuning in this evening. I thought that after so long, I should be giving you a market update. So today, I won't take a lot of time. I'll make it short, sweet, and sharp. And just today, not a lot of stock picks, but probably we'll talk about a little bit of big picture stuff. So I think the recent market correction, especially the NASDAQ, which is the high-flying index, it has corrected 10%, and in everybody's mind, is this going to be a correction or is it going to be turned out into a meltdown? So today we have 10% correction on NASDAQ, and 10% is a correction by definition of a market cycle. It's a healthy correction. So 10% healthy correction, but if it goes to 20 and below, then it is not so healthy, and perhaps a lot of people would classify it as a bear market. So what I think today really is in the bigger picture, we cannot be making big strategic bets, all right, because the market just saw new highs and it has corrected 10%. So the big picture is let the market settle down, and then let's see where it is heading. Okay, so today, just the usual disclaimer. So whatever I'm going to say today for educational purpose also only, and it is purely my insight. There is no inducement to trade. So you could see we have a lot of things going today. Just going to recap a little bit on my last market chat, which I did last week. Talk about the coming FOMC meeting, which is this coming Tuesday, Wednesday. Talk about Warren Buffett making its, 2 weeks ago, he made an interesting move, right? He sold some stocks and he bought some, and particularly bought gold. Where are we in, this bull market? Primarily, what is responsible for this bull market really has been the liquidity provided by the Fed, and also the fiscal stimulus, right, that has put a lot of money into the hands of the people. Okay, then we talk about the bigger picture of all the indices, where it's going, and perhaps just highlight one stock, okay? And then we talk about the US-China economic calendar ahead. All right, so the last market chat, I correctly predicted, all right, the coming or the 10% market correction on NASDAQ, all right? Some of you will be very curious to know, how do you predict that, all right? So the answer really is about reading price and volume. So maybe I just want to talk a bit about that, all right? So you see that I highlighted this two huge volume, right? And we didn't have any volume. It had two huge volume, and the last huge volume actually hits the top end of my trend line. And when I see things like that happening, normally, the big boys are distributing and the market is going into an impending correction. And therefore, I came out and I said, watch for a correction coming, and it happened, all right, the next day. Okay, and also, what made me very bearish was because of this trade plan of mine, and this trade plan of NASDAQ, all right, is telling me that, the NASDAQ spectacular run, all right, could be coming to an end because it has hit, all right, the target, all right, at the peak of the uptrend line channel. So when it hits that target, to me, imminent correction should follow. And then, we had a price action, and then, I predicted that, it would just come off 10% to hit 11.20, and that was what exactly happened. It hit 11.20 and rebounded. So this is what we have, 11.20 and rebounded. What if it breaks this 11.20? You know, so these are the levels that you will go to, and I will delve into details a little bit more. So at that market chat, I also talk about AEM, impending correction, and that's exactly what happened when it broke below 380. It went exactly to 3.34 and did a spectacular rebound. All right, also talk about Tesla, all right, heading lower towards 358, and that's what it did. All right, Tesla had a huge correction and rebounded, and then it went to 358 before rebounding again. So today, this is today's topic. This is what I'm going to talk about. First, FOMC. All right, so this coming Tuesday, Wednesday, all right, we're going to have the FOMC. And what I expect really is that the Federal Reserve will continue to keep interest rate low. But what's interesting is that the market participants should keep a close eyes on the monetary policy to be set forward by the Federal Reserve, particularly after Jerome Powell, Jackson Hole's speech, where he sort of expanded the range of the inflation target, which means that the Federal Reserve will tolerate a longer or lower interest rates for a longer period. And also what it means is that the Federal Reserve will now also tolerate a higher inflation. And that is all good for, you know, for gold. All right, and I will be talking a lot more about that. But what is worth looking out for in this FOMC meeting is, you know, I read with interest on 31st of August, the Fed Vice Chairman, Richard Carida, she made clear that the yield curve control, right, should remain an option that the committee should access further if the circumstances change markedly, all right? So if you believe that the Fed will continue to do more to support the economy, it's only sooner or later that the Fed will implement the yield curve control. As a layman, you know, what does the yield curve control means to all of us? It really means, all right, propping up or buying more of the long-term bonds, all right, and keeping the long-term bonds interest low, all right, so what it means is that the Federal Reserve will purchase more of the long-dated debts, all right, to keep long-term yield low. That's what it means, all right, to control the yield curve. And also to do that, all right, it would mean buying more bonds or buying more long-term assets. And that would mean, you know, printing more money, and also that would mean another mini QE, and that is good for stocks and gold. So this when this 15, 16 Tuesday, and particularly watch out for the Fed statement on Wednesday, that could give a boost, all right, to the gold and also equities. All right, so and also about 2 weeks ago, we heard about Warren Buffett's stock move. All right, so Warren Buffett recent founding, all right, showed that he went on a selling spree. So we know that Warren Buffett seldom sells stocks. He only buys good stocks and he holds them for a long time. But this is the first time, all right, that 17 of the 22 stock moved were stock divestment. And most of the stocks sold, all right, were defensive stocks. And so what were the defensive stocks? Defensive stocks were particularly the banks like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, PNC Financial. Those are big banks, all right. Even Masters and Visa card, he's dumping them. He's dumping the airlines. He's dumping the restaurant, particularly the restaurant that he invested a lot in, Restaurant Brand International. All right, he's dumping the oil and gas. He's dumping telecom stocks. All right, which is chartered communication. So these are the defensive stock that he used to keep for a long time. And now he's saying it's time to let go them. All right. So even Warren Buffett is letting go of defensive stocks. So what did he buy, right? So he sold 17 out of 22. What was the 5 stock that he bought? Okay, gold stock, right, was one of the 5 stock that he bought, particularly Barrick Gold. So he only bought one gold mining stock, and that is Barrick Gold, and we will look more into Barrick Gold. So interestingly, Warren Buffett has been not only a long-time critic of gold, he has been a long-time skeptic of gold. All right, because gold technically doesn't yield dividend, and we all know that Warren Buffett investment strategy mainly centered around dividend yields, and this time he invested in Barrick Gold. All right, so here are some of the reasons why Warren Buffett is invested in gold. It could be that gold serves as a defensive play, a safe hedge against the dollar in the event of a dollar collapse. All right, and recently we saw gold, corrected about 10% from about 20 or 80 all the way to about 1890. All right, and so we would just quote you a famous phrase, all right, that Barrick Gold said about gold, and that shows his disdain for gold. And he said gold gets dug out of the ground in Africa or someplace, then we melt it down, go and dig another hole, bury it again, and pay people to stand around guarding it. It has no utility. Anyone watching from Mars would have been scratching their head. All right. So that was what Warren Buffett impression of gold is. It is like it is worth nothing, and if you invest in gold, you must be a crazy guy. Even the Martians watching you invest in gold will not understand why. All right. So that is why the financial world was somewhat shocked, all right, when they learned that Warren Buffett actually bought gold. To be exact, he bought 21 million shares of Barrick Gold, all right, and in total, it was worth something like $500 billion, okay? So we have learned that Warren Buffett foray into gold stocks through Berkshire, all right, recently, and he has to file, all right, his buyings, because he's a fund that manages over 100 million. So of course, all right, this new stake in Barrick Gold is relatively a small portfolio of Berkshire. It only makes up about 0.3% of the 200 billion portfolio that Berkshire holds, okay? So it's only a small portion of Berkshire's holding, but I think the biggest message is a skeptic like that, like Warren Buffett, who has shunned gold for a long time, has made his first move for gold, all right? So he didn't invest in like gold coins or something like that, or gold bars, all right? He invested in a gold stock, and perhaps this is what he wants. He wants, because a gold stocks, right, would justify his investment strategy, because Barrick Gold pays 1.1% dividend. Not a lot, but at current price, it pays 1.1% dividend. All right, so that is something that really caught my eyes 2 weeks ago when Warren Buffett went into gold. All right, another investment that he of the 5 that he made was Secor Energy. So it's an energy company. All right, and so you could be wondering why Warren Buffett is buying gold and an energy company at this time. I'm really not sure why he bought Secor Energy, but I know the reason why he buys gold. all right? And the reason, all right, behind Warren Buffett move is that energy stocks and precious metal are known to do well in the late stages of a market cycle, all right? Often right before a big market meltdown or market correction happens. So if you look at this chart, right, that I have on the screen, right, could see that before the market does a huge correction, all right, what will be popular will be energy stocks and also precious metal, all right? So those are the stocks normally will be pushed higher, all right, before the market collapse. Okay, so some of you will be wondering, you know, gold has been on a spectacular run since the middle of last year. So the question is gold expensive under the current, at the current price, it's expensive. If you look at this chart, right, gold is not expensive at all. If you look at the price to the EBITDA and the EV to EBITDA, it is not expensive at all. In fact, it is cheap, all right? Gold stocks, I'm talking about gold stocks is cheap, all right, based on valuation. And, you know, if you are bullish on gold, like Warren Buffett, he is bullish on gold. He did not buy gold, he bought gold miners. And you could see why, you know, even during the last correction, you know, the gold miners index or the gold bug index only corrected 2%, while the gold spot price corrected 10%. Okay, so this is my gold trade plan, and gold has been moving very nicely along this trend line and sitting very nicely on the 50-day moving average. All right, and it continues to sit as be supported by the 50 moving average, and also the upside has been kept by this downtrend line. So if you are bullish on gold, watch, all right? So the timing is very important. So watch for gold to break above. So if gold breaks above this downtrend line, I think we will be ready for a move up. And the time to be watching for gold to move up could be this Tuesday and Wednesday at the FOMC meeting. If Jerome Powell spelled out in detail how he is, you know, spelled out in detail how he's going to keep interest rate lower for a long time, and also, you know, if he adopts or implement the yield curve control, that will give gold and equity prices a boost. So this is the Bharat Gold trade plan, and you could see that a lot of gold stocks have corrected about 2 to 3%, but Bharat Gold is you know, managed to hold above its recent high. All right, so about 28.80, and you could see the Warren Buffett effect. You know, after he bought it, you know, a lot of people are just, you know, just keeping an eye on Bharat Gold, and they are buying them on the dips. So, you know, so if you believe in this maverick of the value investment, you know, most things that he touches will many times, all right, double up, okay, or even 3 to 4 folds, make 3 to 4 baggers, especially, you know, if you have seen how Warren Buffett bought Apple, all right? So Warren Buffett bought Apple when it was at the 8-year high. I thought he was crazy, but in the end, you know, he proves me wrong. You know, Apple went up about 2 to 3 folds, you know, above his buying price. So don't underestimate this man, like, you know, when it comes to long-term investment. So why is Warren Buffett selling stocks, all right? This buffer indicator is showing that, you know, our stock is, you know, grossly overvalued. In fact, it is only 3% shy of significantly overvalued, and at the current level, it is below only the .com market crash above the 2008 global financial crisis level. All right, so what has been holding the the market up. Of course, we know that the Fed has pumped massive liquidity, printing a lot of money to buy corporate bonds, junk bonds to hold the market up. But what actually really interests me is this article that was posted of how we have reached this silly phase of the gold market, and one of the liquidity provided, all right, was a fiscal stimulus of 290 billion to the unemployed. Okay, and this lady, right, she received an unemployment check of like a couple of $100, about $800. Okay, and she said, right, that it is basically free money. How do you like it? All right, punting and trading with free money. And can you imagine, about 30 million of unemployed US citizens, all right, they receive free money and they are punting. And from statistics, right, 80% of this free money actually found their way, all right, to the stock market. So this is what the ladies said, right? They said that it's basically free money. As you know, I've decided to play around with it. You might lose some, you might win some, but it's like a gambling game. And guess what happened, all right? She has a beginner's luck. She doubled her money trading stocks. So now she is even shifting to option trading because you can make pretty good money in one day. And that's what she said. And she said it is basically free money. All right, pretty much said of it, I think for a lot of people, those stimulus checks are just free money, a windfall, which they treat differently than money they actually work for. All right, so why not take a shot, all right, at the lottery ticket like hers and Chesapeake? Why have you got to lose? There's nothing to lose. The money comes from the government. All right, so if you're interested to read more about her story on Wall Street Journal, so this is where it is. And so I just want to talk more about NASDAQ. All right, so NASDAQ has, is at an inflection point. If you have seen my posting on the Facebook, all right, and my blog, all right, it's an inflection point. And see, NASDAQ has been sitting right on this trend line for, well, almost since the beginning of the year. All right, it has been sitting on this trend line, and it has held above the 50-day moving average. Okay. So we are at an inflection point. And I figure that if NASDAQ were to break this level, all right, we could even see a target of 10,270. All right, so I just updated NASDAQ chart as of today. And what I would like you to see is that NASDAQ, all right, 50-day moving average, the prices have held up above the 50-day moving average since May, all right? Since May up to now, it's held pretty well. And the last time it broke the 50-day moving average, it was, all right, it coincided with meltdown in the Wall Street indices. And so right now we are right at the inflection point. And, I wouldn't be turning bullish on the stock market as long as NASDAQ stays below 11,500. So watch 11,500. As long as NASDAQ stays below there, all right, the market will still be in corrective phase, all right. But if it breaks, all right, and stay below, all right, we could go, it could trigger a downside to even 10,350. Okay, so I want to also let you point to you, the Dow Jones chart. Dow Jones is similarly on the inflection point. You see, look at this trend line, and similarly, it sits on the 50-day moving average. So these major indices, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, they're all sitting on the 50-day moving average. And if it breaks, all right, I think it's going to trigger more downside. So you have to be watching at this 50-day moving average and also the uptrend line. So as far as China is concerned, it had a good start of the year, but it has stalled, right? While Dow Jones has been taken, or the Wall Street indices have been taken new high, all right, the Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 index has been stalling, okay? It has been stalling, and even on the charts, right, it's approaching a high point, a very strong resistance at 5,000, which means there's not a lot of upside even if you buy it now. So therefore, you know, that is why I've been saying at this point of time, it's hard to be taking a long-term view or a strategic position. And if you look at the Hang Seng chart, right, not very positive, all right, staying below the 200-day moving average and 50-day moving average, and even broke below the uptrend channel lines. And therefore, you know, the strategy for Hang Seng will be, all right, selling into strength. I like this stock, all right, although, you know, not for very long-term investments, but I like this stock called Pentamaster. I have a long position on it, you know, and the reason is because, all right, of China's multi-year effort to de-Westernize their supply chain completely, especially related to the tools of semiconductor and medical equipment. So this company is into making semiconductor and medical equipment, and you know that the Trump administration is banning a lot of Chinese company from taking this semiconductor and medical equipment from the US company, particularly Johnson & Johnson, all right? So I believe this company, Pentamaster, will benefit from this. So today we had this, technically it looks good, all right, today, because it broke above the key resistance level at 197, and now it's like, you know, next target 2.12, 2.24, and hopefully if it can break above and test the all-time high 243. But this is a long-term play, all right, for Pentamaster. You know, not a short-term play, but a long-term play on fundamentals. All right, so this is the important U.S.-China economic calendar hit. You know, take note of it. You know, particularly this Tuesday, Wednesday, FOMC meeting, retail sales, job figures, initial job claims, GDPs, and for China, all right, you know, look at the retail sales and PMI figure coming towards end of the month. Okay, guys, if you haven't, you know, joined my Facebook, all right, please, you know, feel free to go to Facebook, look for RHO Trading Community, and join me. All right, and if you have not been a part of any trading community, I invite you to join my trading community, all right, by just clicking on, going to my blogs and click join RHO Trading Community, and you can be joining my community, which, you know, you have get access to my free chat group, stock chat group, all right, which today we have almost 1,000 people on it now. And, you know, if you are interested in price action trading calls, you know, how I have been calling accurately this, you know, target levels and correction on NASDAQ, how I do it, all right, you know, please contact Yun, all right, we're starting a course in October, please contact Yun, and let me see where is his contact number. All right, so I don't think it is here, but you know, you can just find it out there, all right, on my blogs. Okay, what is the contact number for Yun? All right, if not, please write into me. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope to, you know, do more of this more often so that we can get more insights into the markets. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again. Stay safe. All right. Bye.